morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. And welcome to the Pittston Center of Luzerne County Community College. It's a great pleasure to be here this morning to talk about one of the most important terms, I believe, in the English language, and that's about collaboration, particularly when it's collaboration between a community college and an outstanding university. And I'm reminded this morning as I walked through the doors with Mayor Lombardo that it's been about 4 years since we established the Pittston Center. And we are so proud of what we've been able to do in terms of engaging with this great community, a community that has been under and has achieved basically a renaissance and a revitalization that I would suggest serves as a model for so many other cities in Pennsylvania and across the United States. Alvernia University has a great academic reputation, a reputation that serves students in achieving their lofty goals, goals that they establish for themselves at a young age, and then they pursue their aspirations and dreams, and Alvernia helps them accomplish those goals. Luzerne County Community College has that much in common with Alvernia University. As the largest college in northeastern Pennsylvania, we have thousands of students who arrive at our doorsteps every year. And they have, in many instances, many of those students, I would suggest, never envisioned that they would have the opportunity to pursue their higher education. More than half being first-generation students. Sometimes members of their families not being able to assist them with making decisions about financial aid, about admissions requirements, about career choices. So they entrust us in finding a way for them to basically find their way in life and pursue their education so that they can achieve goals that other members of their family were not able to achieve for a variety of reasons. So when I said that one of the most important terms in the English language is collaboration, and particularly in the world that we live in today, without that, many of these students would have finite goals. They would not be looking at where they can move on. Alvernia University today is establishing a partnership with Luzerne County Community College, which will open doors for these students that will make education both accessible and affordable. An education that will allow these students to complete, in many instances, as I alluded to earlier, goals and dreams that they've never envisioned just a few years ago. So we are very appreciative to the officials from Alvernia University and working with members of our academic and our student affairs teams to formulate an agreement today that I believe most sincerely, will open so many doors for our students in the future. Will open doors when they sit down and look at the program of their choice in working with guidance people, counselors from Alvernia, admissions people that will direct them in a way that will complete their education for a bachelor's degree, and most importantly, for many, to have that affordability component. Just a few weeks ago, the President of the United States announced the loan forgiveness program. And I know that from hundreds of people who have contacted us at Luzerne County Community College, they are hoping to be able to return and complete their education. We hope that we can assist them in achieving that goal, and then to move on to great places, great academic institutions, as we are partnering with today, Alvernia University. So thank you for being here this morning. Thank you to the City of Pittston. Thank you to the leadership at Alvernia University. And now it's my pleasure to introduce a leader who has, over the last few years, demonstrated that he is truly interested in partnerships, that he is innovative, finding new ways to open up the doors that I referred to earlier, both on his campus and in instances as we are seeing today. I would like to introduce the president of Alvernia University, Dr. John Loyak. John.
Well, thank you, President Murray and Mayor Lombardo, for having us here in Pittston today. It's wonderful to be home again. Maybe that's one of the best things about this partnership is coming home to Pittston and the remarkable work that Mike has done in this city that has attracted us to Pittston. So 127 years ago, the Bernardine Franciscan Sisters came to Reading, Pennsylvania with a mission to serve the underserved. Part of that mission was education of their children. That spawned Alvernia University. And frankly, this partnership, as I look at the partnership today and where we're starting with Luzerne Community College, the sisters will be very proud as we add behavioral health programs that will help serve those in need and serve the underserved, and put students out in the community that can make a real difference here in my hometown and in northeastern Pennsylvania. As Mayor Lombardo knows, when Alvernia comes to town, it's not just educational programs. Whether it's Reading College Town or Pottsville College Town or now Pittston College Town, we bring an array of services to the community we serve that goes well beyond education, whether that's service in the community through our students who are required to do service out helping the underserved here in northeastern Pennsylvania as we kick off our programs, or whether that is community economic redevelopment through our Opaque Institute. I have Dr. Rodney Ridley with us here today, who runs that institution. That means our Spark Incubator will be here in the community helping small businesses, helping Mayor Lombardo continue to grow downtown Pittston and beyond, and that we will be engaged in economic redevelopment. Not that Mike needs the help, but we will be absolutely here to do that as a partner in the city of Pittston. As somebody who grew up here, I couldn't be more proud to be standing here in my hometown with Mayor Lombardo and President Leary kicking off what he mentioned collaboration. I will say the key word is partnership. We found that as we've developed these college town models in other cities, that what really brings it to life is partnerships, and the first two partnerships are between the community college and the city and Alvernia. It will start small, but I expect, like everything we do, it starts small and it will grow. This is our first new campus expansion in 25 years. It won't be our last, but we're very excited to be here, very pleased and thankful for the partnership.
Joining me today from Luzerne County Community College is our Vice President of Enrollment Management and Student Affairs, Dr. Rosanna Reyes, who's instrumental in leading this effort in collaboration with Alvernia University to formulate this agreement today. Dr. Reyes.
Good morning and welcome to the Luzerne County Community College Pittston Center. We're excited to have all of you here today with us today. This conversation for this partnership began several years ago with a team from Alvernia University who reached out to us and said, how can we be a part of LCC and how can we bring something unique to the residents of this area? And so I'm very proud to say that we were able to successfully not only create an agreement that brings our students credits to Alvernia University, but we also were very strategic in which programs we selected to create a pathway. Also, the financial support that our students are receiving thanks to the generosity of Alvernia University makes this accessible promise of the community college realized at Alvernia University. So thank you for that. The programs that we outline in this agreement includes our bachelor's in social sciences and social work, the addiction and mental health treatment program, which, as many of you know, we have been very focused on the mission of expanding support to students who are in recovery, criminal justice, early childhood education, also another area of great need today, healthcare sciences, healthcare administration, addiction and mental health, the BA program, education, as I mentioned, and also the DSW to an MSW program, in addition to clinical counseling and MA in leadership. These are all programs that were designed and selected with the purpose of serving the need of our community, the rising challenges in northeastern Pennsylvania, and the heart of many of our students who are pursuing those degrees at our institution, and recognize that they need more than just an associate's degree in order to be able to practice that in the field. So we thank you for the opportunity to create those pathways and to make it affordable and possible for the students of Luzerne County Community College. Welcome.
I would also like to acknowledge joining us this morning from Luzerne County Community College, our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Sue Spry. And our Executive Director of Institutional Advancement, Rebecca Berminski. And now leading the effort from Alvernia University, we're truly appreciative of her work, the Senior Vice President and Provost, Dr. Glynis Fitzgerald.
As President Leary said, one of the things that's so important and crucial for students is a seamless pathway from the community college to Alvernia University. And what I'm so pleased to talk about this morning is how that exactly will work and how we will help support each student as they make that transition from Luzerne into Alvernia. Each of the students will be directed by our great team of admissions counselors who will help design the curriculum that will lead them seamlessly into a junior status at Alvernia. Many times as transfer students, it's very difficult to ensure that all of the credits that you take here at a community college will transfer. And we make that a seamless process and ensure that each student comes in as a junior. They also, as President Leary mentioned and President Loyak affirmed, we will also provide a very generous scholarship package to those students so that they will be able to complete their four-year degree at any of our college town campuses. So they may choose to come to our Reading campus. They could also choose to come to Pottsville or Philadelphia or any of our online programs as well. So it gives the students an array of ways that they can pursue an Alvernia education, a four-year completion degree from their associate's degrees at any of the campuses that make it fit for their family, for their needs, and for their hopes and dreams for the future. We're very excited to see how this will grow together as we start this program, and who knows what next we'll have to offer and announce together.
Thank you, Dr. Fitzgerald. I just have one adjustment to your remarks after today. They'll all be coming to the Pittston Center.
Very well said.
So, now it's my pleasure to introduce the mayor of the city of Pittston. But I would be remiss if I did not recount a story that I had the pleasure of describing 4 years ago when we opened our center. Mayor Lombardo, many, many years ago, I'm not sure, it might have been 20, Mike, we had a conversation, and I think it was right out here on Main Street. And he was talking to me about Luzerne County Community College establishing a presence on Main Street, Pittston, many, many years ago. And occasionally over the years we would have that conversation again. And I would have to say that his persistence, which is so evident on Main Street in Pittston, when I alluded to earlier that this is a model city, the renaissance that has occurred, his persistence paid off. And we arrived in Pittston due to his leadership and his efforts, and we have become such an integral part of this community. And I would suggest that this center is only going to grow and serve more of the citizens of the greater Pittston area. We have students who arrive here who, because of their obligations in their jobs and family obligations, this is the center, this is the place where they need to receive their education before they move on. So I'm very grateful to the mayor, and I'm very proud of the work that collectively, cooperatively, we've been able to achieve together. So it is my honor at this time to introduce the mayor of the city of Pittston, the Honorable Michael Lombardo.
Welcome LCC, welcome Alvernia. Boy, I love saying that.
We love hearing it.
President Leary, President Loyak, I respectfully address you as president, but the more important term for both of you, for me, is friend. So thank you for that friendship. Thanks for believing in us and me in this place. Thank you for the kind words. Things don't happen without a great team. You've alluded to your team, both your teams. I have an awesome team. Over the last 3 years, or so, particularly the last two when things have been a little difficult, you realize the value of team. I talk a lot about the time I've spent here, and President Leary is correct. It's been over 20 years. But there have been 4, I would say, really key words that drive value propositions that we have rolled out over the last 20 plus years in the city, and they really have driven how we've gotten here. And those words are team, those words are partnership, those words are education, and then, progress and commitment sort of commingled together. But I have an awesome team, and I've said over the last 2 years, it's easy to look good and stand up here and receive accolades when you're surrounded by great people. So I have some members of my team here. I won't go through acknowledging everybody, but they're here in full force from each of the departments. The deals don't get done without your administration, without our code people, without our Main Street manager, without our community development office, our redevelopment office, without some of the other electeds that really support and focus on the things we're doing. But the other sort of pillar of those words is education. I mean, for me, that's everything. It's our future, and if we don't build this city on that idea and make education accessible and affordable to people, I think it's an epic failure. I was going to say that I believe that government's role is to be the bridge to everything, but it's probably not a good choice of words, considering the current condition of one of our bridges. So keep all of that in parentheses, please. But it truly is. It's really the way we get there. And I think through my tenure here, both in and out of office, some of the gestures I have made have been centered around education, and that's value hounding poor President Leary for over 20 years, taking advantage and hounding my good friend President President Loyak for he wasn't even someplace yet, and I was already starting to harass him about coming someplace else. He laughs because that's absolutely true. But even rolling out early on, one of the first things for me was moving our public library out of a small basement room in City Hall to its current position and growing it to the point it is. And all of those things have really mattered. And I really believe, in these challenging times that we have, cooperation, we need to be the model for that. We always have visitors here. Yesterday I was honored to have my good friend Matt Pacifico, the mayor of Altoona, here. We like sharing ideas and collaborating, and the distance is only as big as we make it, and especially in this day and age when you can communicate so effectively. So we're going to continue to do that. This is an awesome partnership that I think can go so many places, and it creates opportunities. And I have to tell you that that's a really important other word is opportunities, because if we don't provide them, 2 things happen. Either they just go away, or somebody else gets them. And I want the people of Northeast Pennsylvania to get as many of those opportunities as possible. And there is no more valuable opportunity than whatever you learn inside the classroom. So this partnership between LCC and Alvernia is just an awesome step in delivering that important piece. I thank both of you. I thank both schools for their belief in us and their commitment, and we will do whatever we can, and we will be the bridge to whatever the things that you are and you need to both schools. And to the staff that's here from both institutions, thank you very much. I know how much hard work goes in behind the scenes. This is the easiest part of it. The other thing I've been saying over and over, and I'll close with that, is that, and I think I first said it at the retreat at Alvernia, I have this new idea that, ribbon cuttings are kind of cool and they're nice and the press shows up. I don't care about ribbon cuttings anymore. I care about 5-year anniversaries because they really reflect staying power and growth. So what I care about is we're here today, but I'm ready to move on to the next spot. What do we do next, and how do we keep this thing moving, and how do we keep growing? So again, thank you to everybody. Thanks for this opportunity to speak. Thank you very much to my staff. I appreciate and respect every one of you. Thank you.
So as I was sitting there listening to the mayor, I was reminded that the ribbon cuttings and the announcements of agreements are very special and they're very important. But when I think about what this agreement will provide for our students, about 90% of our graduates, and that's on the rise, remain here in northeastern Pennsylvania. They live in our communities, they work here, they raise families, and they give back to the communities. When we are able to engage in such a great agreement, we are only adding to the number of people who will have their career aspirations and their personal enrichment realized by this agreement. So it's about student success, and it's about individuals. It's about individual lives. And that's what I think in higher education, all of us as a team are so committed to and so proud of. When we see that student who begins sometimes in a situation where they're wondering whether or not they can do it. They're so concerned about being able to afford it. They're concerned about other members of their family and their jobs and so much that goes into their lives. And we are able to provide them with an opportunity, as we are doing this morning. That only adds individually to their life, and collectively, it means that we have improved the social and economic mobility of the people who we serve, the people of northeastern Pennsylvania. So that's the meaning of this. And there, I'm reminded, I said 4 years, next year, we'll be celebrating a 5th anniversary here with Alvernia University and the city of Pittston, Luzerne County Community College. So, President Loyak, if you would join me, we're going to sign officially our agreement. The other thing, you always get nice pens when you attend.
I guess I should use the Alvernia.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea. Here's the Alvernia pen. Now this is the hardest part.
Yeah, trade. When do we trade?
We keep trading. Trade in a moment.
I can tell you our city administrator's happy that I'm not signing this.
Thank you.
One more time.
Beautiful.
It's official.
All right. Now we'd like to open it up to any questions for us concerning the agreement in the future.
You did such a good job with no questions.
Oh, hold on. Let me just get my camera set up.
We figured it was coming.
Usually someone from the community college likes to ask me a very difficult question.
A few years ago, before the pandemic, there was talks about Alvernia having a physical presence in Pittston. Can you describe if that's still taking place or how that might look?
It is. This is the first step. We will have a physical presence here. So we will be educating students right in this building. We're also working with Mayor Lombardo on our ability to be able to expand that space on Main Street. So that is the plan, and that is the college town model, locating our academic services in the core of the downtown, and then bringing students, bringing economic redevelopment and service to that community. So we're happy to be in Pittston.
Can you talk about, you guys had touched on some of the programs that are going to be offered here specifically to help in the social sciences. Can you just elaborate, could someone elaborate on maybe how much of a need you're seeing that in the community, but also interest of students? Are students particularly seeking out these programs?
I can begin from us.
No, go ahead.
Right. So we seem to have a very increased interest, especially since COVID, and many students who want to be in the service industry, helping others, whether it's in mental health, social work, recovery, addiction and recovery, and the healthcare system, overall administration and services. So from that perspective, we definitely see that at the community college in creating a pathway to a bachelor's degree, for which many of these programs require you to have in order to practice. It has created a very seamless process for our students to be able to do that with Alvernia.
And in bringing our addiction studies program to downtown Pittston, that is a top 20 national program. So we know there'll be a lot of interest from students to be able to participate in that type of career development. And again, service-based. All of the majors we're talking about here are students who will go back into the community and help to serve the underserved people in need. And what a great place to start a partnership with service.
Anything else?
Going once, going twice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.